Hello and welcome to the Back to the Bakery. We are joining in really quickly as we are already in Champ Select. I'm your host, Team Rosemary, and joining me is a lovely co-caster for the day, Mr. Turtle. Turtle, how are you doing?
I am doing pretty good.
We are going to get this overlay fixed in just a second. But while we're going, Turtle, why don't you talk about the draft that you see in front of you so I can focus on something else?
Right now I can see them respecting Joey like crazy with the instant Azir ban as the first go. Honestly, that's understandable.
Oh, I
The
think
dude had
that's
a
like
really good
absolutely,
showing last time.
that is absolutely mandatory from what we've seen. Like
The
that
Yumi
last
pick
game that
has
he,
me kind of confused here.
yeah, first pick Yumi is definitely an interesting choice. Also considering that they didn't ban a third champion. I don't know if that was an accident or if that was intentional. Maybe they lost a ban because somebody was late. But it is definitely
Probably.
interesting no matter what.
That is a lot of CC on that red side team.
Oh yeah, setting
That is an
that
insane amount of lockdown.
If that misfortune gets ahead in any way, shape, or form, she is absolutely going to walk through the enemy team. That bullet time is going to melt them.
Absolutely.
All right, let me see if I can.
Second ban on Joey there with the Orianna.
Let me see if I can get the link going.
Mordekaiser. This draft seems kind of unplayable from blue side. As it stands right now, there's just not much they can really realistically do aside from just get popped like a grape.
Okay. Just notified the Discord. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do before this game actually starts. I think I'm good.
Hit the go live button.
Oh, we're already live. Oh, we're going.
We're going.
Don't you worry. We're going.
Ooh.
Now
Is
nobody's watching because I haven't pinged anybody, but we're going. Okay, so looks like we finished out the draft. We have about 3 minutes before the game officially starts. This is quite the run. I think Nexsussy is a really good draft overall. You can see exactly what they want to do. They balanced out their AP and their AD with the Mordekaiser top and the Ezreal mid. Obviously, the Misfortune is kind of the bread and butter damage dealer for this Mumu and Nautilus setup. And you have Mordekaiser who can kind of take out a main scary threat. Maybe the Kled or the Nyla if she starts getting ahead. So I really like the draft that Nexsussy cooked up. My concern and my question is, what is Tilted Tater Tots' goal? Because it seems to me that they wanted a little bit of everything and got nothing. So
It really does feel that way. With this draft, that blue side is going to be struggling very, very hard to do much of anything. They don't really got that much wave clear for deep pushing or sieging. They don't have that much range also for sieging towers. I think their goal is going to just look to be skirmish in the jungle and kind of hope that it goes in their favor.
Yeah, like we have a lot of dive. So Kled ult definitely is useful. It's just that so Volibear and Galio both want to dive in with their ultimates. They don't necessarily want to just run in, although they can. Volibear can definitely just run in. Galio definitely likes to join the fight by his ultimate. Nyla, she wants to go in, but she wants to go in kind of after the fight started. She wants to clean things up, not kick things off.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hard game for blue side, I think. If they're not able to scrounge up a small lead during laning phase, this game is going to be one in Champ Select, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's just the execution of the blue side draft is significantly harder because you have to have everybody on board at the exact same time, and you have to be able to isolate enough of the carries. And both Misfortune and Ezreal are not going to make that easy. As Ezreal has this blink out, and Misfortune should not be anywhere near the range because most of her ult damage is going to come from her ult anyways. So I just don't see how you're getting in on this backline if the front line is playing correctly. I don't see Primeco or Jay being caught out and just like, getting ran down that way. Maybe they do. Tilted Tater Tots might get lucky, but I don't think you should be playing around your opponents being bad when it comes to your draft.
Yeah, drafting around the missteps isn't exactly ideal for trying to close out any game or trying to get any kind of lead. I'm pretty sure the only lane that's liable to bleed out here is the top lane, just because of how volatile Kled and can be in like any matchup of his. That champion can be very feast or famine.
Yeah, if you were to be on either one of these drafts right now, as the top laner, which one are you preferring?
Red side 100%, because my AD carry doesn't have to go in and like shove their face in a trash can and pray that they don't die.
I think I'm in the same boat. If I'm playing mid lane here, I'm definitely wanting the Ezreal over the Galio. Ezreal's just naturally really strong into Galio anyways, so it works out really well that you get to AD range champion that can kind of just poke down. And yeah, I mean, Galio definitely has the roam potential over Ezreal, so perhaps, Nyla gets level 6 and just runs straight into Misfortune's face, and, here comes Galio from the heavens to smite them down. I definitely can see that being a big deal, but I don't know. I hope it works out. I really do. I would love, because I think what happens as well is, let's say that blue side is actually able to get ahead in the early laning phase. They get a good jungle gank off, or somebody overextends in one of these fights. I think they'll be able to run the game away. It's just if the game goes even, or if it goes too long, that's where the red side kind of standard draft is going to come out and shine.
Yeah. And something that's going to be a little bit rough for Surge, the Nila, is just the fact that he's going to essentially be in a 1v2 for the first few levels of laning phase. Because Yumi's not exactly a proactive champion that will enable him to be able to fight the Nautilus, fight the Misfortune in a 2v2.
Yeah, and Tilted Tater Tots, they're going to spot out this invade. They were actually pinging the Nautilus right when spawn came in, so they were already aware, like, hey, they're probably going to invade us. Their level 1 is way stronger than ours, which is true. So they got that ward up in the bush, and they're just going to kind of take a step back. Might even go a little counter fight if they step too far up. Looks like we have a lot of vision coming out from red side, and that's going to kind of be it. They're just going to take their recalls and start getting ready for lane.
Invading is actually an Asian Bits special on that champion. He also will do this on Leona, anything with a hook, really.
Oh,
he will look to try to get invades off.
That Yumi Q is really, really good. And the control ward start from Luna, very smart move. So now we're not only starting off with an XP advantage in the bot lane, we're starting off with a slight gold advantage. We stop the recall from the Mordekaiser, so he has to physically walk to lane or burn his TP. He's opting to walk. He doesn't want to burn the TP just yet. So either Kled matches him in the river, which is exactly what he's doing, just waiting it out for that level 1 skirmish that Kled definitely wins, or he's walking the scenic route and losing a lot of minions and XP. And he's going to opt straight to the lane, going to try to trade Q for Q, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, Kled just wins these every time.
Yeah.
And just like that, if I'm Mordekaiser, I'm thinking the lane's over.
It's definitely going to be on the rough end. I wouldn't say it's over, simply because Mordekaiser does have the neutral game on the Kled. The Kled can try to force something, but certain characters you don't really want to overextend and force a fight onto. Mordekaiser is one of them. Somehow losing the XP lead, Giga's now going to get dismounted. It's not going to be... Oh! No, he was able to get away. Because if Kled gets dismounted in this matchup, it becomes borderline impossible for him to do anything. Losing half his kit is just very detrimental.
Yeah, I definitely think the level 2 spike was very useful for Josh there, just walking forward. He hasn't been able to get a lot of the minions, but he was at least able to get the XP, and I guess that's what matters.
XP is king in the early game.
And
there have been many a kill I have gotten in this tournament from hitting level up timers before my opponent.
Yeah. We see Joey just putting up the pressure in the mid lane. Red just making sure that this Galio is not having a good time. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Giga's going in. He gets dismounted by the Mordekaiser, and that's probably going to be the end of the trade. Yeah, Mordekaiser just going to put up a clean presence up, and these minions making sure Giga cannot step back up. He's going to try to get back up on the mount to make sure that his sustained Kled is going to go through, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. If Josh plays his cards right, he's making sure he's staying off the next wave, and the wave after that, and the wave after that.
100%. Though it looks like the minion wave is going to be slow pushing in. Both junglers showing up on the top side.
Yeah, we're going to see a little bit of a skirmish in the jungle.
Jumping on Issa.
Yeah, Issa does not want this fight. Amumu does not win those, and both top laners are trying to rotate down as well. Kenda is definitely in a position to fight. Giga sort of is. Josh just going to back off, realizing he's not going to take this 1v2 very well. Smart move from both these top laners, just putting up the pressure in the river where they can. Really unfortunate for Amumu. Not going to be able to do much in this top lane. Trying to clean up the Kled kill, I'm assuming, but because both junglers were pathing at about the same rate, you just kind of get met with a brick wall there. I realize my music is still going. I'm going to pause that really quick.
I am surprised Danila is actually able to walk up as much as she is.
Yeah, she's actually doing very well in this lane for what I would consider to be a good fight. Ooh, Giga almost going under tower there.
Is a paid actor that should have been in tower shot range. Take it from someone who's executed the tower before. In this tournament, tower is a paid actor.
Giga's going back in. I don't think we're going to see much. Oh, another hook. Oh, nope. It's dismounted. I don't think he's going to be able to get this kill. Yeah. Oh, double flash comes out. Giga, it's responded by immediately by the Mordekaiser. Misses the Q, and Mordekaiser is going to be able to just recall and TP right back.
Incredibly greedy on Josh's part to actually want to stay here.
Yeah, looks like he's not going to get punished, though. Giga's just taking the recall. He doesn't want to risk it either. But, yeah, I mean, he's also breaking his own freeze right now, which I think is a bit interesting. I feel like you would want the minion wave to stay under your tower before you recall, wouldn't you?
He would definitely benefit from it, but it looks like he actually just handed a free freeze onto the Kled.
Yeah. Well, at least his team is going to make use of something over on the other side of the map. Amumu is just going to be able to clean up that dragon, using the bot lane Prio from Prime Echo and Asian Bits just shoving forward. Now they're going to be able to take their recalls and try to get some gold back, hopefully matching the Dirk that this Nyla was able to buy on her first back as well. I think in the mid lane here is where we're starting to see a little bit of damage coming out. Ezreal just took his first back. He's up almost 3 waves, entire waves on Galio. Galio is trying to rush out these ninja tabbies, try to protect himself from these auto attacks. Meanwhile, Ezreal's already got a tier and a sheen. That's a really strong recall for first level. And hitting that level 6 power spike at the same time. He is in a solid position to carry through this mid lane. All he's got to do is get a little CC behind his belt, and this Galio is going to hit the floor.
Here's one of the concerns that I had during Champ Select when I was watching Red Side pick their characters. If they get slow pushed onto, they are just unable to respond to certain objectives, like the Grubbies here. The Kled was able to shove Josh in, and the Galio had the large wave pushing Joey in. Both of them couldn't respond, letting them get free Grubbies. Yeah. Now it looks like it might be a kill on Josh here. Yeah,
Mordekaiser's taking Volibear into the realm, and Amuma's there to follow it back up. Good stun comes out, but it's not going to be quite in time. Issa's getting run down as well, and that's going to be a double kill going over to the Volibear. Kenda Master putting some gold in his pocket. Really good fight coming out from those two. Mordekaiser whiffing his E at the very beginning as well. Not what you want to see. Using the realm to stall was a good idea, getting your Amumu to rotate up there, but unfortunately just did not have the damage and the stats to be able to hold out that 1v1 long enough. Ended up just falling out in the long run.
That's actually going to be a lot more painful than it looks for Josh, because he actually used his TP about a minute before that fight broke out.
And so he's losing more XP and more gold at the same time. Yeah, that is not what you want to see.
Not on a 1v1 champion like Mordekaiser that needs to be getting a lead, or at the very least staying even so that he can use his ultimate to steal the stats of his opponents.
Yeah, at least he's opting for the freeze here now, which is good. Red is just putting out some damage on these plates. He is up double the CS on this poor Galio. Comrade Bugs is not having a good time in the laning phase. And we didn't really expect him to, But it's just showing that if he doesn't start getting these roams on the bot lane, it's going to be tough. Mumu comes in and burns the flash off from the Nyla. Good job to ToC, just putting up a little bit of pressure. And now he's going to path right back up to the top lane. Start taking those camps, I would assume. There's nothing else really he can do down here in the bot lane. I guess
his bot side camps are respawning. They might opt to do a dive here.
Yeah, they're someone's pinging on their
Fortune
way. I think
does
it's
have
Volibear
ultimate.
pinging on his way. They're going to be able to clear out the vision from this control ward, so they'll see Volibear coming. And, yep, Volibear is just going to go match him with some vision control and go right back to farming. Yeah, I'm really liking how slow they're playing these lanes. We're almost 10 minutes into this game. We've only seen 3 kills so far. Not a very bloody game.
This actually goes in the favor of the red side, because again, if their comp gets to scale into the mid game, late game, they're just gonna have a much easier time in dealing with the blue side.
Yeah, we're just seeing more scrappy fights coming in from the top lane. Giga's about to get dismounted, and I don't believe that Josh wins this 1v1. Yeah, that Conqueror is just a little too strong. Takes him into the realm, I guess just for the stat boost. Not gonna want to take this fight anymore. Yeah, just toying with him a little bit. And Giga gets the remount. Yeah, Josh is going to have to farm this wave under tower and probably reset. Losing a plate in the process, I would assume.
I think Josh might be losing to Shopkeep here a little bit, because he is buying the Rylai's, it looks like, which is a good item on Mordekaiser, but not having any ability power, while the Kled is just able to build like a Talon, 3 longswords in. He's just not going to have the damage to be able to contest him.
Yeah, and the added wave clear means he's just constantly shoving waves in, so him losing that TP earlier in that previous fight just makes it that much harder for him to sustain through this lane. Going to get a good trade going off. Giga's not really going to be able to respond. And we see an ult coming in from Asian Bits. Good ultimate coming out, and the bullet time comes out as well. Surge is already under half health, getting ignited for the grievous wounds, and he goes right back in with the ultimate. Surge is going to be able to pop off, but he's not going to be pop off hard enough. Misfortune's going to be able to pick up the kill and follow it up with a Yuumi, as she's going to fall right behind it. Flashes forward to get the secured kill, and an auto Q auto is going to finish that Yuumi off. Nice double kill for Prime Echo's Misfortune, and that's going to take a PF sword straight into a Bloodthirster, I assume.
Most definitely. That's basically going to be game down there. There's not going to be much of anything Neela can do.
And meanwhile, we see ToC trying to pivot his way up for another gank. He's not going to like who's right behind him, though. Banda is not playing these games as Volibear comes flying into the lane. Josh and Giga are both in these really scrappy, low-health fights. I don't think either one of them want to risk this coin flip of a fight, because sure, you might be able to pick up a kill, but reality is that both your junglers are going to walk away with kills. And I don't want to trade a kill on a Volibear for a kill for a Mumu. That's just not worth it for me.
Very true.
And yep, there's the Bloodthirster coming out from the Misfortune as she comes back to lane. That's going to be really huge for her as she continues into this laning phase. She's going to be able to keep her strut up. They're not going to be able to poke that out very easily, so she'll have added movement speed, makes it harder for her to gank, makes it easier for her to engage. And here comes an ultimate coming in from the Galio. Asian Bits is already up here, and so is Red with a nice ultimate as well. They're going to be able to run down this Nautilus. They got a lot of damage packing behind him. Volibear gets in on the stun. Red's going to try to E away, but he's not going to be high enough. He's trying to back it up and kite it out, but Giga flashes forward with another 1, 2, 3, 4 from his nice passive. Galio puts out a little bit of damage as well, and Red is going to fall. Meanwhile, Volibear chases down Asian Bits in the background. Nautilus is going to fall as well. That's 2 more kills going over for our blue side squad, while Misfortune gets shoved into her tower. Yeah, and they're going to be able to pick up the grubs off of that as well. That is a good trade for the tilted Tater Tots.
Patience would definitely be a virtue that's needed for Issa on the Amumu. He can't be pulling the trigger like that. Not when his team doesn't have the itemizations to be able to back him up.
Yeah, he's definitely getting a little trigger happy here, and it's getting scarier and scarier because this Volibear now has 4 kills under his belt. If we look over at the gold really quick, we're looking at 13, almost 1,400 gold difference between both our junglers right now. And most of our lanes, actually, surprisingly enough, top lane is super ahead. Top lane's already 1,000 gold up. I didn't realize Kled was as far ahead as he is. I guess 5 assists and 2 turret plates will do that for you.
Yeah. The Galio not as far behind as the CS numbers would suggest, being nearly half of, actually nearly at half of Joey's CS. He's only down 300 gold.
Yeah, he's been half the
gold.
CS the entire game, but I guess once again, you pick up a couple plates, a kill, and some assists, and suddenly the CS difference, starts to slowly fade away. We're only looking at a 400 gold difference. That's about the equivalent of a single kill. Not a whole lot. But yeah, it is definitely quite a close game in the overall gold standings, but in these individual lanes, we're already seeing some pretty sizable leads from each one.
There it is.
Oh,
The
good taunt in
blasting
coming
one.
under the tower. Not going to be able to get some damage out. Joey's going to be able to back up, but Kenda flashes over for the Volibear stun. Gets the W off. Not quite. They're going to run down red, though, and there's another kill going over to Kenda Masters Volibear. An absolute titan with the full AD build from the looks of it. Already sporting a Sundered Sky.
Accelerated Volibear is horrifying. Also in the top lane, with a little bit of AP he was actually able to buy from his bases, actually enabled him to go even with Giga there, even though he is behind on gold.
And we're seeing another Volibear going in on Nautilus. He's going to be able to trade this out with his W. A little bit of poke damage comes out from the Yuumi. Not going to be scary, though, as Kenda's just going to continue running around this jungle wherever he wants. Already deciding to try to take the blue buff. Probably just going to opt to take some vision and walk away. Oh, he looks like he's posturing for a dive. Might be a little bit risky here. I know we're pushing minions under the tower, but I don't think this is the dive that we want. Yeah, they're just going to choose to back off here. And we don't have a dragon up either, so if he's smart, I think he just starts going back towards his camps. Spending a lot of time in this bot lane. I know the desire is there, but I just don't think that the application is smart. And you're already giving up pressure. You've shown yourself so much on the bot lane that we're just going to see Mumu over here taking the Rift Herald up on the top side of the map. And just to help with the debuff, Mordekaiser is going to come down and kind of speed up the process. So good rotation from our red side team here. Nexsussy just taking the advantage where they can so that they can go ahead and grab themselves a free Rift Herald. And they're going to opt to give it to the Amumu, so he's going to be able to spread that damage wherever he needs to. I think you'd like to open up mid lane personally, but perhaps you open up top lane and rotate your Mordekaiser down to start dealing with this Volibear. I feel like mid lane would still be the move here.
This game might be a shopkeep difference. Amumu decided to go full AP with their first item.
Yeah, and I don't think that the enemy team is tanky enough for that to really be relevant. Galio opting for a first item, Hollow Radiance. Very interesting. I figured he would want a little bit more generic health and armor, but I'm guessing he's just kind of predicting that this Mordekaiser is going to hurt. I feel like the Misfortune is going to be the scary part, especially and the Ezreal too. The Ezreal's the one that's just beating you down in lane. So maybe I'm wrong. Ooh, good ultimate comes in from Asian Bits as the bullet time is going to follow it up. Surge is already going to be close to half health. Ignite is going to come out. He dashes in with his ultimate, and Nyla's going to be able to put out a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be quite enough. Both are going to back out with the flash. Yumi's burned all her summoners. Misfortune's burned all her summoners. The Ignite is down from Nautilus. What a trade from the bot lane, but not a whole lot. It's going to come of it from the end of the day. Primeco is just going to take the recall, use her strut speed to come right back.
It's an interesting recall timer. She has full resources minus mana. That fight, she could have stood to be a little bit more aggressive with the Bloodthirster, with the lifesteal that it provides. Being able to auto-Q and just get 2 instances of, like, bonus HP. Yeah. The Neela not necessarily having the gas, because she does have her full item, but in that team fight, if Aiko had stayed in range, that might have made it so that the Neela overcommitted.
Yeah, and she did cancel her recall, so I do think that was the smart move for sure. I think you win these extended fights when it comes to Collector versus Bloodthirster. Volibear's down here, so you want to be a little safe, but you're already farming under tower. You don't really have a necessity to leave. You have Dragon spawning soon, so if you are going to take a recall, you definitely have to do it sooner than later. Good fight coming out from Giga, just taking out this trade. Mordekaiser is going to take him into the Death Realm, trying to stat check him, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. I think Kled just wins these. Doesn't the Conqueror stack? Yeah. Is he
remount?
Yeah, remount. Yeah. Mordekaiser just does not win this stat check. I guess they both have Conqueror, so perhaps they're both kind of picturing this extended fight in their favor, but Mumu comes in with the Q. He's going to be able to land it in on Kendamaster, following it up with Asian Bits as the hook from the Nautilus. Nyla is going to go flashing in from the background as Yuumi starts the ultimate as well. Giga teleports down as he's running in with his ultimate as well. And Nautilus ult is going to try to keep Kenda off his back, but it's not going to be quite enough. Stun's going to come out. Surge is going in with a Nyla damage. It's not going to be quite high enough. Nautilus using the Q to buffer over to the tower. He's going to be able to try to stay survive. And it looks like the tilted Tater Tots are going to be able to pick up the dragon over that as well. Josh is going to try to trade some damage on this top tower, but with the turret plates gone, I don't think it's going to be worth it unless he can get the whole tower. And yeah, there we go. Another dragon goes over for Nexsussy. Or, sorry, for Tilted Tater Tots. Stopping Nexsussy from their dragon stacking that they were doing. And the next thing is going to be able to pick up is Baron. We still have a Rift Herald that we can drop from our Mumu. We've taken it a few minutes ago, so I imagine we're going to have to drop it here soon, if not by force. So hopefully we're able to start moving this over towards the mid lane. He's pathing right now, and we know that Galio just took the recall, so maybe they drop it here, just try to siege something. Yep, there it is. And Amumu's going to come riding it into the tower, and that's going to be a dead mid tower. They're going to back off there. Volibear is way too scary to try to contest going in for that second tier 2. Just being content with the one that we got. Meanwhile, Giga on the top side is going to be able to clear out the top tower himself. And Josh is just going to have to back it up a bit. Now, and this is something that I feel like is interesting. I don't feel like we're going to end up with a death from either one of these ultimates. Here's something that I think is very interesting about when I spectate these games. And I think we see this more often than not, was where the gold, the team gold is always super close, but the KDA feels like it wouldn't write that story. You know, like when I hit tab and I see 7-3, I feel like, you know, we're just getting curb stomped, but we're really only 1,000 down, and not even that. We see a couple ultimates coming out from the bot side as Prime Echo is trying to make a run for it. Nyla damage is going to be really, really high, and there's a shutdown on Misfortune. They're going to go into the tower, and they're going to be able to pick up Nautilus as well. That's a double kill coming over for Surge's Nyla. That Collector putting in some work and getting him some gold in his pocket. That's a scary fight that you don't want to see coming in from Nexsussy's side. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Volibear is pressuring it up, and Red is going to be coming backing up so he can back up his teammates. Giga running super low, takes him into the void, but it's not going to matter. Mumu is going to be able to take him down with the burn. As Kenda starts to run away, we see a 3-man collapse. Issa flashes forward. He lands the Q with the Amumu. Galio is coming in from the back line, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to turn this game around. He might end up just dying himself. Amumu is going to fall. Volibear is going to fall. Lots of shutdown gold is going to be going over for Ezreal, and now Comrade Bugs is going to be falling as well. Double kill for Ezreal and a bunch of gold in his pocket.
That is a swing that red side definitely needed.
Yep, and even with the whole fight, a lot of the shutdown gold went left and right at the same time. Bot lane ended up trading out well for Tilted Tater Tots, and top side ended up trading out well for Nexsussy. So you kind of see this weird handshake globally across the map where everything just inverted. We saw Giga was kind of taking down Mordekaiser, Volibear was kind of taking down Amumu, and then we saw it completely invert where Amumu and Volibear, Amumu comes out on top, Mordekaiser comes out on the top with the Kled, and then on the opposite side of the map, we see the opposite as well. Misfortune and Nautilus were kind of putting the pressure on against this Nyla Yuumi, and we just saw their fight go down where Nyla completely ran through both Misfortune and Nautilus at the same time. It's just a weird way to see. I guess we're finally in the mid game because now we've got some power spikes coming out from some of our champions. So we were talking about earlier that if we wanted to see the Tilted Tater Tots come out with a victory screen, they needed to get an early lead and they needed to kind of ride with it in order to make their team comp work. They do have a lead, albeit not as high as I may have hoped. If you were sitting in on Giga's side, I guess we'll finish this up really quick. Amumu's going to get killed off by the Nyla. Good play. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Josh is going to be able to take out a solo kill against the Kled. That's his second death of the game. And now Mordekaiser is definitely riding high in this laning phase. Oh, good poke damage coming out from the Misfortune. Oh, no, he fell.
No, he fell.
That's BM.
Yeah, it looks like the little bit of ability power that he got from the haunting guys and the dot item that built into Blackfire Torch was enough to offset Giga's insane base damages and base HP. That might be the way these fights end up going in the long run.
Yeah.
In favor of Josh.
Yeah. So going back to what I was saying,
item.
If you were rocking on Tilted Tater Tots' team right now, you're on the blue side, and you're seeing that your Nyla is starting to pick up more kills than not in these fights. Are you starting to feel a lot more confident in your kind of hard engage comp that's working out? Or are you still feeling a little bit nervous that this Wombo combo in the mid game is going to be strong?
I would be anxious still because Joey bought the one item that will stop the Neela from full healing during these team fights.
Oh, and here comes another fight. Bullet time comes out from the backline as Galio is going to be able to fly in as well. Volibear falls even after his ultimate. Joey just does too much damage with that Ezreal. Going to be able to back it out and kite. He's going to try to keep it out. Surge is going to fall. Flashes out, so Comrade Bugs is going to be able to try to stay on. He is going to be able to pick up the kill, though. Good shutdown gold coming over for him. And I don't think the taunt is going to be able to get him there. Asian Bits is going to try to run away, and Misfortune is going to be able to pick up the kill. Brian Echo gets a double kill. More gold for her pocket. Giga is ran down, but he doesn't even have Kled's mount, and he's not going to be able to enjoy it. Mordekaiser's going to meet him halfway, take him into the realm, and he's going to be able to finish him off with another Q. Clean solo kill coming out from Josh, and they're going to rotate that over for another dragon, putting them close to soul point.
This is exactly why I would still be anxious, because all it takes is the Misfortune positioning a little bit back, getting a full channel ultimate on the majority of your team, and just one person buying heal cut, and now your damage dies and it just folds like a house of cards.
Yeah, and it looks like she's picking up that Infinity Edge right now, so she's going to be doing a bunch of that base damage, and that's really the scariest part, is if she was building on hit, something like a Kraken Slayer like we've seen in the past, although it's nerfed now, but if we saw something like Kraken Slayer and like Phantom Dancer and items like that, you wouldn't really fear these ultimates all that much. But when you start picking up stuff like Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, Collector, even Cyrilda's Grudge maybe, or LDR, like that's when these ultimates start go from scary to absolutely terrifying. If I'm the enemy team, I'm already stacking armor. I'm still shocked that our Galio has yet to really build any true armor. He built his steel caps just so he could have a little bit of laning phase armor, but I'm waiting to see if he comes out with more of like a tankier like Sunfire cape, or maybe even something like a Randuin's, just raw damage.
Honestly, I think what he would need is more of an unending despair. Because his team needs a dedicated tank, and I don't think he has the luxury of being able to build the AP items that he wants to build, like the Riftmaker, or in, like, my opinion, Alianders.
Double ult's going to come out, and Misfortune is going to be able to pick up another double kill here, just grabbing more damage out from her. 6, 1, and 3. Volibear is waiting in the wing, but he does not want this fight. They're going to be able to rotate this up for a Baron if they want it. Meanwhile, Red is going to be able to use this Ezreal pressure to try to take the tower. You're going to have to get away from this Kled. Oh, my word, he does some damage. Kled's already dismounted. Red buff is going to keep him out from under the tower, and he's just going to be able to clean it up nice. Meanwhile, down there, Kenda Master's trying to contest this Baron strike, but it's not going to be good enough for him. He's just going to get whipped around on a U-turn and taken out in one clean motion. Baron's going to go over for Nexsussy. And Mordekaiser in the all chat, well aware of his own mistakes, accidentally throws out the RIP.
This is like the issue with the kind of draft that Blue Side has, where it's you have to get that lead and you have to maintain it. That one shutdown that was given up earlier seems to have really turned the game around.
Yep, and we're seeing this Misfortune just putting out more and more damage, getting more and more items. It is a truly terrifying time to be on the Tilted Tater Tots, because you're already in a volatile team comp. You're already in a hard engage comp. So if you can't hard engage, what else do you do?
Right?
I guess so.
Neela getting chunked out with an auto and then a Q.
Ezreal goes in for the ultimate. Not going to be able to do any kills, but it's just going to put out some more damage. Try to get them to back off a little bit. And they're going to be using this Baron in the mid lane. Looks like they're going to group up as 5 and just try to run down the tower. Kenda's flashing in on Red. Meanwhile, Galio's going to be backing him up. Kled's coming in from the top side with his ultimate. Bullet time is going to come out, and Kenda is going to fall. Red is taken out by the Galio. That is going to be some good shutdown gold for him. Meanwhile, Josh is taking him into the realm. Kled is going to fall down. Yumi is not going to be able to remount onto her friends. And a good hook comes in from Asian Bits, landing it on Comrade Bugs. The taunt is going to be given some resistance, but it's not going to be enough. Prime Mako is going to be able to pick up the kill, and that's another double kill going over to this Misfortune. And with the Baron buff marching down mid lane, I would not be surprised if we see an inhib fall in this same fight.
This honestly might be game, or at the very least, the setup for checkmate, because bot lane has a very, very big minion wave crashing on that tier 2 tower. They could very easily take this inhibitor and then rotate down, although the death timers might be enough for them to take in Nexus instead. Nexus towers.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to risk Nexus towers because everybody's up in about 5 seconds, but I do really like the idea of rotating bot lane, putting your Baron on that tower, and just getting another free one. You have all these jungle camps as well that you can take. Misfortune can really push by herself, so cleaning up a red buff and probably even the Krugs down there as well, I think is going to be a pretty free. Drop some vision on your way out. Ooh, Kenda's foisting in.
This is a dead volley bear.
He tried gassing in, and yeah, he's not going to like what he sees. Josh is not playing those games. 3-1 and 9 Mordekaiser. I would not be running in with that much confidence.
Nope.
They're not going to be able to take the Baron into the bot lane, just opting to take a couple jungle camps and drop some vision on the way out. I definitely think they could have rotated to the bot lane if they were a little faster with it, but you know, as long as they don't die, their Baron's still up. They can still take the reset and take it back down there whenever they want. If I were them, I'm thinking I'd probably want to do something like a 3-1 or like a 3-1-1 or even just a 4-1 or 4-0-1. You put everybody in the top lane and you let one person Baron power the bot lane. Probably your Mordekaiser. He's already kind of built for that solo lane mentality.
Yeah, and he's also already winning the 1v1 against the Kled fairly handily now.
Yeah, it looks like they want to just posture towards this dragon. It's going to be a little scary. Everybody that's setting up on the tilted Tater Tots is just sitting there ready. And oh, here comes Misfortune, about to get caught out. She is going down, and Shutdown Gold goes over to Nyla. That is the last person they want to see hit that Shutdown Gold. She's not going to be able to back in time for this dragon to come up, but with Misfortune down, I don't think this is a fight that they want to take. Probably just going to have to give it over.
They might actually not be able to take this for free. I don't think Led can clear those super minions right now.
Oh, it is going to be a fight that's worth watching. Nautilus whiffs the hook. It goes wide. Kenda's meanwhile in the back line. Nyla gets collapsed in on. Mordekaiser comes in with the TP, takes him into the Death Realm. Amumu's going to try to come down, and Galio's going to be able to ult in as well. Kenda falls down and gets Red's Ezreal damage. This is where we find Surge hanging in for the moment, and he's not going to have enough. Yumi is going to hop in on her friend. Meanwhile, in the backline, Ezreal is going to be able to take down the Kled who ulted in. Comrade Bugs is trying to stay his way alive, but Galio doesn't have enough health. Luna's going to fall just like her friends. And there goes an entire ace for the tilted Tater Tots. They're going to lose this Dragon Soul. They have already lost the Baron. They have lost their inhib, and it's looking like they're going to lose the game.
Yeah. This one looks like it's cooked.
Well, considering that Joey just hit me with the DM that said don't grab the support, he's leaving. That tells me that this Nexus is falling.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Nexsussy for their awesome, clean victory, good draft, good execution, and good games. Nice 5 mid ban.
Jesus.
With a little bit of added BM on the sides. That's pretty entertaining. Well, let's see who we can grab in for an interview here. Turtle, who do you think is worth grabbing in on this team? I think there was a lot of great players that did a lot of great things. We saw Mordekaiser taking an early loss in the lane, but being able to turn it around. We saw Joey take 5 bans out and still manage to somehow pick out some damage and take a win. And we also saw Misfortune with some clean positioning from the ultimates for bullet time. Nautilus had some really great setups, although he is not available for the interview. So I'm curious, where's your head at? Who do you want to talk to from this lovely bunch?
I kind of want to talk to Giga. I want to understand what their idea was for like that draft.
We might be able to talk to both teams. Let's try to grab the winning team first. If we have some time, we can definitely pull Giga in and kind of see where his head is at as well. But I'll just message Joey. We've already been in contact with one another. Yeah, I think this works out because Joey's the only one I see still online. I think his entire team just like dipped.
Come in, took the W, and then just left. Didn't say a word, refused to elaborate.
All right, let's see if we can drag him in here.
He's here.
I was just about to answer Josh's fucking question, and then I got yoinked.
What's up, man?
Howdy.
First of all, congratulations to the Nexsussys for their clean victory.
Thanks. It was super clean. That Grubs fight was very good. Very smart fight.
So, I guess I'm going to start off with what I would say this is the beginning of the game, which is Champ Select. You guys, in my opinion, had a very solid draft. You had a very obvious, very clean win con. You executed it very well. Prime Mako did an amazing job at positioning those bullet times with the Misfortune and just pumping out a lot of damage. You also were able to pump out a lot of damage with both your ultimates and your Qs. But what did you guys think when you saw the draft coming in, both from y'all's side and from Tilted Tater Tots on the enemy team?
The Nila was a curveball. I know Surge was gonna participate in that Nila off that never happened, and he was probably front runner to win that. So I think I knew they played the character, but I guess they took the Yumi away from my support because when it came out, he was a dirty Yumi abuser. Like, I don't know, like they dropped negative range into a Misfortune where they're having to go in, and then they didn't ban the Amumu. So.
Yeah, we saw the Amumu coming out in some of these fights as well, but I definitely think the Nautilus had some of the best setup for your team. A lot of those ultimates, a lot of those hooks, just re-engaging these fights where it was originally going to just be the one pick, turns into 2, 3, 5. Like, it was just some really solid like team synergy, and you could see coming out from the enemy team, in my opinion, that the Tilted Tater Tots had a strategy. It was very all-in, very hard engage. The problem with a team comp like that is if you start falling behind, you legit just keel over.
Yeah,
so
I completely agree.
Did you guys at any point in the game kind of like had that fear of like, this game's getting away from us? We saw the scoreboard at one point was 7-3 in favor of Tilted Tater Tots. So did you guys ever feel like, we're starting to let this game get away from us, or were y'all just kind of flying cool the whole time?
When we lost that second grub fight where we shouldn't have gone for it, our call was to not do the grub fight. Like, we were calling that off, but we still like hung around for some reason. That's something we need to work on. Like, we were calling it off, and then we still just sat there like we could do something, and then they just engaged on us pretty well, and then it was like, ooh, we need to hang back. Bot lane was still ahead at the time, so bot lane was able to still amass a lead, even with the volley bear just being a psychopath. But it was a little spooky at that point, and then they overstayed on that top tier 2, and then 3 of them died, I think, and then that got us back in the game. So.
Yeah, well, and that same fight was actually like a weird turning point where we could like kind of clearly define the mid game. We were talking about this during the cast, but in that moment where you were talking about at that top tier 2, we went from what was effectively Kled winning lane and Volibear hard winning jungle to kind of a pivot where you guys came out on top despite the blue side's inherent advantage, and then the other side of the game, we had the 2v2 in the bot lane, and the 2v2 in the bot lane was also kind of crazy because we saw Misfortune and Nautilus were winning, and meanwhile they somehow got ran down by the Nyla Yumi combo. And so you guys traded, I think it was a double kill or a triple kill up topside for a double kill in the bot lane. And the way the shutdown goal worked out is y'all went from dead even, or I think y'all were 1,000 gold down, and by the end of it, you were still like 900 gold down. So it kind of balanced itself out.
Yeah, but in that instance, then I got the 1K bounty on the Volibear, or however much money it was.
Yeah.
Was,
he had 1,000.
A big swing because I was able to easily finish Muramana and then start building Executioners really fast after that. So it was really good on that part.
Yeah, and we were mentioning that the Executioners was going to be pretty relevant for a lot of these healer type champions. And so I think that was definitely a good move, just picking up a little bit for the team, especially somebody like Ezreal who can just fire an ult and kind of spread it across the whole team.
Yep.
You don't want to take that away from your Misfortune, where she really does need to just be building raw damage like LDR and Infinity Edge. So saving her 800 gold, I think, is definitely the move.
I don't want to see how much healing it reduced.
Yeah.
Like the second Neela tried to do anything in these team fights where she would get bursted and then she looked to heal with her ultimate, having the healing reduction on it just completely made her fold.
Where is the stat for...
Well, I don't know if there's a stat for healing mitigated.
I know there's self-mitigated damage.
I think it's what you have to look at in game, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's all right. I was curious too. But yeah, Turtle, is there anything you wanted to ask before we sign off here?
Yes. Why the Ezreal? Like I know,
They can't touch me. It's the main thing. We
I
need an
mean,
AD, and they can't touch me.
yeah, but like it kind of costs you guys like the early prio on the grubbies.
It was Ezreal. Yeah, I keep saying. We could have. I had prio for the grubbies if we were in a decent position to fight it, but with the Volibear getting ahead by getting top lane, it made it kind of difficult. And then it was more the Mordekaiser being behind and the Kled being ahead than my pick, I would say.
No, I mean, like in
Because
terms of like,
I was perma pushing the Galio because Galio can't fucking do anything to me. But
yeah, I meant more like in terms of like wave clear, it was like a little bit difficult for you to be able to maintain the pressure like after a reset to be able to like match him on roams and stuff.
I mean, he's still Galio. He has his ult key. Like I can't. You're right. I can't match the ult key. He just clicks it and flies a million miles away. But
Fair.
I like to think I had mid prio for most of it. So
Yeah, I mean, you were basically doubling his CS the entire game, which
Funny thing about that, you guys actually had pretty even gold throughout the game, which is kind of confusing. Even though you doubled his CS throughout
it
the
was
entire game.
probably because I had a shit ton. I mean, you look here on the scoreboard, and I have 6K more gold. I'd be willing to bet like 3K of that is from farming.
yeah, well, a lot of that came
Just
from the
better.
mid to late game when you just started picking up a lot more kills. But during that point, you
That's it.
were 0-1-2, I think, or something like that.
I was 0-2 at one point.
And so
As
Galio
good as
was
a psycho.
1-0-2, I believe. So it's like, yeah, you doubled his CS, but because of the kill, the assists, and like the one tower plate that he had taken, like they all were literally like within 100 gold of each other. It was just kind of silly. I'm like, man, you
Yeah.
can out farm somebody this well, but if some of the fights in the river and the jungle just don't go well, it doesn't matter.
I honestly could have farmed better, but that's on me. I'm not perfect, so I'm not Chovy. I try to be, but I'm not Chovy.
Well, is there anything you wanted to say to your team or to the fans who are watching, who are likely watching back on this VOD right now? Yeah, especially for your first time being featured.
Yeah, first time being featured is cool. I'm gonna make a public apology for my very talkative top laner. He's doing it for fun and nothing's personal. He'll move on the next day, but it's tee-hee-ha, I swear.
That's good to know. I'm glad we're not being unsportsmanlike on the Rift maliciously.
Yeah, it's unsportsmanlike, but it's not malicious unsportsmanlike.
Well, that's lovely to hear. Well, congratulations once again. It was amazing to see you guys get to play live on stream. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do. I believe that this keeps you guys in the top bracket going into the next round, doesn't it?
So we have next week, and then we have that super week, but we play... Our last 3 games are going to be a doozy for us.
Well,
we get Ren, you into Momo. So yes, we are in the top half right now, but I think we need to win. I don't know who Tyrede plays. But I think we need to win at least one of those games, and then we'll be fine.
yeah. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you guys continue to compete. Hopefully, we can get you guys on the stream once more before the playoffs hit. Who knows? Maybe it's one of those games that you listed right there. We'll see what the schedules look like and what fate has for us. But hey, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the quick interview. Good job and congratulations to your team. Looking forward to what more of you guys can do. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. Turtle, do you want to say anything to the fans or to Nexsussy before we sign off here? Great. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Those of you guys who are watching, make sure you join the Discord if you want to be a part of the tournament. If you have any questions about what we're doing here or what this tournament is about, you can always drop it in the Twitch chat, or you can ask somebody in the Discord. We have tons of people who are willing to come in and help. It's a great community, so as always, feel free to join in. Hit the follow button if you haven't already, and if you're watching this pod back on YouTube, what's up, guys? Glad you guys are tuning in. But without further ado, my name is Zach, Team Rosemary. Thank you for allowing me to host, and I will see you guys next week for round 7 of the Tournament of Champions. Bye, guys.
No thoughts on empty.